and an orange arrow. To toggle the webinar pane between open and closed position, just go ahead and click that orange arrow. You should also see a small chat window. Please feel free to type in questions throughout the presentation, and we'll address those at the end of the webinar during our Q&A session as time allows. Okay, so now on to the audio settings. Okay, on your GoToWebinar pane, you should see an area for audio settings. If you're calling in on your telephone, please choose the Use Telephone option. Alternatively, if you're using your computer, please select the Use Mic and Speakers option. Please make sure you have the right option selected or you will hear an echo. Also, webinar participants will receive an email within 48 hours with a link to the recorded webinar and slide deck. So now that we've gone over the meeting software, I'd like to introduce you to our presenters. First, we have Todd Peterson. Todd is the Director and Practice Lead for Armanino's Financial Management and Outsourcing Practice. He has 27 years experience in finance and accounting. He served as CFO for both public and private companies in the financial services and consulting services industries. And we also have Jim Gellis. Jim is the Group Manager of Commercial Enterprises at Armanino. He's worked in audit, business valuation, and human resources functions for over 15 years. Jim also holds a BS in accounting and an MBA with a concentration in entrepreneurship and finance. It's great to have you guys both here, and with that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Jim.
Thanks very much, Dee. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Failure is not a word that we typically associate with accountants. There are many other things that we might associate with accountants, but failure is usually not one of them. After our discussion this morning, we'll explore why you might want to add that word to your list. To outline what we'll be covering this morning, we'll start with our learning objectives, and then in part one, we'll discuss the 5 failures that accounting departments have. We'll see that they're costly, that there are several types of risk that they have. The regulatory landscape that they operate under is constantly changing and difficult to keep up with. Accountants are business data gatekeepers. And like anything else, they have some inherent limitations. In part two, we'll see that the sky isn't quite the limit, but there are lots of things that cloud-based technologies can do to provide solutions. And then finally, in part three, we'll put our feet back on the ground and see how outsourcing partners can help fill that gap. During today's webinar, we'll look at those failures of accounting departments. We'll identify technology and how it can help solve some of those failures, and then we'll present alternatives to the traditional accounting model.
And with that, Jim, I think we'll head to our first polling question. Where is your biggest frustration with accounting? So we look like we've got some things coming in. We've got about 50% that have voted. We'll be closing the polls here in about the next 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the poll is closed. So the results, it looks like a third of you are saying that time and attention needs. Another third of you, timeliness of getting your reporting, and then a tie at 17 on the accuracy and the cost. Everybody trusts their accounting departments, which isn't unusual.
Great. So to jump into the failures of accounting departments, we'll find that there are 6 ways that accounting departments are costly. First is that in 2011, CareerBuilder announced that there were 48,000 new accounting jobs. And Economics 101, supply versus demand, as the demand increases with the same supply, the cost for those jobs is going to increase. In addition, California is getting aligned with the rest of the country and moving to a 150 credit hour requirement to sit for the CPA exam. And typically it's been 120 hours, which is your normal undergraduate diploma. But these higher education